Hi guys, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, my name is Shannon. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope by the end of the video you might consider subscribing and ringing the notification bell. I would love to see you here next time. So today's video is obviously a little bit different. This is my skin in all of its naked glory. I thought we would go ahead and do a brow routine today. Since I went ahead and posted those brow tips for you, I thought it might be nice to kind of show you my brow routine at the moment. Of course, it changes from time to time, but this is really what I've been loving in this moment. So without further ado, let's dive right in. Hopefully you guys will be able to see okay. This is kind of like one of the few tutorials on my channel. I'm trying to get better about tutorials. So bear with me, you guys. Any feedback I would appreciate. You guys let me know. You're not gonna hurt my feelings. So the first thing we are going to do is take this brush here. Now I love this specific brush. This is the Anastasia number 7 or 7B. My writing is pretty much gone, but it just is super stiff, you guys. I showed this in the tips video, and the spoolies on these brushes really are great. So what I like to do is kind of just spoolie my brows up. I try to pluck my brows as minimally as possible, you know, just to kind of keep most of the hair to work with. So the first thing I'm gonna do is go ahead and reach into my Anastasia Dip Brow Pomade. This is in the shade Taupe. And as you can see, my pomade is kind of, I mean, it looks pretty beat up, but that's because it is. So when I dip into this pomade, I also find that with the pomade, as it dries out, it actually gets better with age for me. In the beginning, they're just so super creamy. I find them a little challenging to work with. So as it becomes less creamy with oxygen, I find it to be better, just easier to work with in general. Also, if yours has completely dried up to the point where you can't use it, just go ahead and add a little bit of oil and you'll be good to go. So I literally will pick up the smallest amount, you guys, and I will go ahead and just wipe the excess off on the side of the jar. And then what I'll do is I'll basically start at the bottom. It's gonna be a little challenging doing this like in the phone. I usually have my mirror. I do have my mirror next to me just in case I absolutely need it. But I'll kind of just start with the base here. And you know, having less product makes it easy too, instead of having too much. I like to kind of just take this gradually. I will say that down here in this Florida heat, this is one of the few products that really will work for me all day long. So I just pretty much take it and just kind of go with the natural shape of my brow. Just little bits at a time. I think I might need my mirror. I'm sorry, guys. I'll just use this little compact. Okay. So hopefully you guys can still see. So yeah, I'll bring it kind of focus on that arch. I also find that the pomade is easier to work with the more brow hair you have, in my personal experience. So as you can see, I mean, I pretty much have them just about filled in. This is kind of the moment where I'll sort of, you know, assess the situation. I've been kind of liking a more of a like thicker, bolder brow recently. And then in the front with a very light hand, I will just sort of work in an upward motion. And that's pretty much it. And then I'll go ahead and take my spoolie and gently, without applying a lot of pressure, comb through everything. It doesn't have to be perfect, you guys, just because there's another step to the process that we're going to get into in a second, and that will help perfect things a little more. So again, just kind of starting at the bottom, running kind of like a line. This is my trouble brow. I always feel like it needs more attention than the other one. I mean, it goes pretty quick, you know what I mean? Like, sorry about that glare. And then I'll kind of focus on that tail, just lightly dragging my brush down. And as you can see, they're pretty even. And then I'll go ahead and start working on the front over here. Flicking up. And then sort of out with the direction that my hair goes. So up and out. Okay, so then we're just going to take that spoolie again and just, I used to also do my brows very last. And then recently I switched things up and started doing it first. So that's kind of why I have nothing on my face. So at this point in time, I mean, I always have where this one kind of, like this one, you see what I'm saying down here? Gives me a little sass. But that's pretty much it, you guys. And then, of course, always be sure to screw on your cap really tightly. And then I'm going to go in with this guy here. This is the Anastasia number 12. You guys, Anastasia brushes really are, like, I've tried so many brow brushes, you guys, just trying to find more affordable options, and nothing compares to these brushes. Don't waste your money, honestly, because the amount of money you're going to spend trying to find the perfect cheap or affordable brow brush, you could have just bought these. You know, it's up to you if you want to use the same brush. I personally like this brush for powder because it's a little, the bristles are a little longer, and it's also not as stiff as that pomade brush. I just find that the other one gives me more control, which I find better suited with a pomade. So this is just the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo. I have the I have the shade Dark Brown. And I'm going to go ahead and pick up the lighter shade. Pardon my nails too, guys. I'm a hot mess. I will be painting them tonight, as a matter of fact. This actually has a little mirror in it, which is kind of convenient. So basically all I do is I'm going to go in with the lighter shade first, and I like to use the lighter shade in the front of my brow. So this is kind of where you can come in and sort of perfect things, if you will. Close in any gaps you might have. Perfect that, you know, the top line. I kind of like to go ahead and do both sides with that lighter powder. And it's up to you, you guys, what color you want your brows to be. You know what I'm saying? Like, whatever works for you, roll with it. Don't ever let anybody tell you that it has to be a certain shade, it has to do this, it has to do that. It's whatever you want. I also find that by setting that pomade with this powder, it really helps with longevity in the summer months. I mean, in the winter, I can pretty well get away with just a pencil for my long day, but in the summer, it's kind of not an option here where I live. So I've been doing this brow routine now for a few weeks, just kind of getting back into the swing of using my pomade and getting comfortable with it again. Because it is a little bit of a, what's the word I'm looking for? Takes a little skill. So then with my spoolie, one more time, I'm just going to gently comb through everything. To make sure all that product, there's no, you know, places where it's heavy anywhere. Like right in here looks a little heavy. Do not apply a lot of pressure here, guys. You're really just kind of letting the brush comb through your brows. So then at the very end, if you want, you can set your brows with some form of brow gel. I recently have really been loving this one here from Maybelline. This is the Brow Precise Fiber Volumizer. So this is in the shade Soft Brown. I could probably use the shade lighter, but I wasn't really sure what to expect. Now this has the strangest applicator ever. But there is little fibers in here. Like, I don't know, can you see that guy kind of sticking out? Can you see him? That's a fiber. And it really does amazing things for my brows, you guys. It really sets them and just makes them look super fluffy. I've tried so many different brow gels, and I mean, I love the Ulta Beauty brow tint. I love the Essence Make Me Brow. But this one I've really been enjoying as of recently. You don't need to apply a lot of pressure here. You're really just kind of, again, allowing that brush to do its thing. And then I like to just kind of fluff the front hairs in an upward motion. And that is essentially what my brows look like. Guys, I'm by no means a brow expert. It has taken me a very long time to get to a place where I would even do this, because brows have been a struggle for me, like really getting the hang of brows in general. Not over plucking has been a struggle for me, just really sort of putting down the tweezers and not plucking as religiously as I used to. I used to pluck so often, you guys. But now I kind of rely on my little brow scissors that I showed you in the tip video to really do most of my manicuring, because that really does kind of appease me, if you know what I mean. Keeps me from over plucking. So that's it, you guys. That is my current brow routine. I mean, that is what they look like completed. At this point, I would usually take a concealer. The one that I've been using recently is this guy here from Makeup Revolution, or Revolution Beauty. And the reason I've been using this one recently is because I don't actually care for this concealer. I know I'm in the minority there. It's just not my favorite. And so I'll just take a flat brush like so, and a little bit of that concealer. You really don't need much, and I'll just kind of tap my brush into the product, and then you can clean them up. So if you make any mistakes, it's really not a big deal. You're just gonna take that concealer This is not my favorite brush for this specific one, just because it's a little bit on the thick side. This is actually a Morphe brush. And you can just kind of run that concealer as close as you can get. And then I like to just, I'm shaking too much. I've had too much caffeine. And then I'll just kind of drag it down a little. I'm sure you've seen this done 1,000 times. Key here is to just go in with a light amount of product and not go in too overboard. And then I'll just kind of take my finger and just tap it a little bit, just sort of gently blending that out. I was using this too as a eyeshadow primer, but my shimmer shades were creasing on me, and I was like, why am I mean, because I don't really have that problem normally. It's this concealer. It just creases on me, you guys. I cannot get it to not crease. So I've just been kind of cleaning up, and I don't drag it all the way down to my lid like I was before. I'm just basically using my primer again. Just trying to find a means to use up this concealer. And quite honestly, you guys, I would feel totally confident not even cleaning these brows up. I think they look totally fine. I would have no issues wearing them just the way that they are. But I figure I'll show this to you while we're at it. I'm sorry about that glare, you guys. And then again, just taking my fingertip and just gently tapping that out. What that will end up being later on is pretty much just a brow bone highlight. It will pair right in with my brow bone highlight. So that's it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this little tutorial. Like I said, give me any feedback. I am open and ready to take on that feedback so that I can make these a little bit better for you guys in the future. I'm really nervous doing tutorials. I don't know why, but I just am. So let me know what you guys think, and if you would like me to do another one with just like brow pencils, let me know. I'd be more than happy to do that as well. So I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.